Hello and welcome to the Ruby&Roses podcast. My name is Addie and I am the yarn dyer and creator behind Ruby&Roses Yarn. This podcast is primarily a knitting podcast where I share all of my works in progress. I have a little bit of occasional crochet thrown in, as well as some yarn dyeing content since I have my own hand-dyed yarn company that specializes in hand-dyed artistic yarns. I love sharing a lot of the color palettes that I'm working on, whether that's like the form of collections or just one-of-a-kind colorways. I also share on this podcast a lot of what my colorways look like knit up, whereas I don't knit every single colorway that I dye because that would be a lot, but I do share some of my favorites that I'm knitting up into special projects so you can kind of see how they look worked up, and they will always be linked down below in case you like to purchase one for, like a skein for yourself. I really hope to provide a lot of inspiration for your making through these videos. So this podcast is one I'm super excited to film. I had it on my schedule to record today, but it just couldn't have worked out any better. I just feel like this is going to be such a fun episode. I have so much to share with you guys. I have a new design that I want to talk about more because it's finally available on Ravelry and on my website, which is just one of my all-time favorite patterns, and I can't wait to talk a little bit about that. But I've shared it in past episodes, so I'm not going to discuss it too much, but I have a new cast on as well. That is a project I said I would never ever cast on, and now I'm eating those words because I'm loving it so much, and I can definitely sense a new obsession coming on for sure. I have a little bit of progress on a lot of my other works in progress, and I also have a really big life update to share at the end that I'm thrilled with, and I hope you guys will find exciting as well. So I will jump in and talk about my traveler's blanket first because, as I'm sure you've guessed, that's the design that I have been just loving so much. I also wanted to apologize for the lighting. I can't seem to get good lighting. It's going in and out of clouds, so hopefully it will not be too annoying, but thanks for bearing with me on that. But this is my traveler's blanket. I had so much fun knitting this over the last, I'm pretty sure year and a half. It's been a while. And I'll try to stand up a bit to maybe show you. But it is just so big. And it features all of my own hand-dyed yarn. So the contrasting color is my Kana colorway, and it's my favorite red. It's a very, very bright, intense red with a lot of neon orange undertones, as well as some a bunch of different shades of pinks, anywhere from blush pink to a deep magenta. It's just filled with a ton of warm tone colors, and I think it just adds such dimension to this colorway. I'm actually I'm restocking it this week, so it will already be uploaded in the shop. So if you want to purchase this colorway, it's been sold out on quite a few bases. So if you've had your eye on this colorway and you'd like to purchase it on whatever base you would like, then follow the link down below. If you want to snag a sweater's quantity or want to use it in this blanket, it's probably one of my favorite tonals. I love Kana, but I also am obsessed with Gallivant. I feel like those would probably be my favorites. So it's very, very big. This was just a one-of-a-kind colorway for the border and one-of-a-kind minis. And I love it so much. I love it so much, in fact, that I've cast on another one, as you will have seen in past episodes if you've been following along for a while now. I really, really love this pattern because it's the perfect amount of simple garter stitch for TV knitting while you're chatting, hanging out with friends, as well as a little bit of interest. So I love the closure each color brings. You knit all of this garter stitch, and then you have this really fun slip stitch section that really showcases the Kana colorway or whatever contrasting color you would use along with your slip stitches. I really love that technique. So I think it just is a really classic design that's quite timeless in my opinion, and it has a beautiful border on it. I will link in the corner up here if you're interested in seeing how I blocked this blanket. I actually did sort of a vlog style, half vlog, half tutorial on how to wet block this blanket. It's over 7 feet long and almost 6 feet wide, or 5 feet wide. And so it's a very, very large blanket, which is great. We've been using it so much. Devin, my husband, and I have just been loving using it. It's great because it's always in our living room and we just throw it on if it's a bit chilly. Unfortunately, the cold weather is coming to a close, so we're not going to be using it as much, but then again, I'm always cold, so I'll probably even use it like in this spring, early summer months. So this is my traveler's blanket. Like I said, it will be linked down below for those of you that would like to purchase the pattern on Ravelry or on my website. So the next project I'm going to be sharing is one that you guys are probably going to be so surprised to see. It was really funny when I shared it on Instagram, like what I was doing. I got so many DMs. I had so much fun reading through all of them. You all were very excited, and just some of you said I told you so, which I can get behind. That's a valid thing. So basically, I cast on a pair of socks. I can't believe I already have this much done for one, and that it's so fun. Like, who knew? I've never cast on a pair of socks before. I did one other time, but got to about this point and then just decided to give up, and I wasn't enjoying the process. I did a specific sock pattern. I wasn't sure it was going to fit, and all of these other excuses, but I decided to do it the other day, and I just really wanted to cast on my Deep Affection sock set because it was just so pretty, and I kept eyeing it up for the shop, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do it. So I'm so glad I did. I am using a Crazy Sock Lady pattern. It's just her simple vanilla sock pattern. It will be linked down below for those of you that are wanting to check it out. I followed it exactly to pattern, except for the fact that I did a 2x2 rib instead of 1x1. I also added 5 extra rows on the leg, and here's why. So a fun fact about me, I think I am an extremely tight knitter. However, like, since I've knit several sweaters and blankets, shawls, I sort of adapt to whatever like needle size. Like, for instance, if I'm using a size 6, I'm like, okay, I know my stitches should be roughly this size. I never do gauge swatches, which you all will probably get mad at me for that, but I just don't ever do that. But anyways, I just like somehow match my gauge to whatever I'm knitting, and I think I've just done that for years. That's sort of how I started doing it. Like, okay, well, I know my gauge should be this, so let's start knitting a little looser. So I haven't really run into any issues with it, but with socks, I had no idea what a size 1 gauge should look like, and I think it's very tight. So and I don't know if that's a good thing. If you're an experienced sock knitter, please let me know. It fits, but it looks, when it's like on me, it looks like that. A little bit. So I don't know if that's just how socks are. I have no basis for making any of these statements, but I don't know. I just think it feels a bit tight, because I've also had like 2 or 3 sock samples knit up for my company, and I've like felt those and like compared a little bit. But anyways, I love it. I think it'll fit well, and it's also socks, so I'm not going to get too precious with it. Like, it is what it is. And if anything, I think it's a really fun way to showcase like a colorway, because it's just going to be super fun. So this is my Deep Affection sock set. It comes with this beautiful purple tonal, which was a one of a kind, but I saved the dye recipe for restocks of this sock set, but I think I might add it into the shop. I think it's a really fun purple color that I don't really have one like this currently. And of course it's paired with Gallivant, the color that goes with everything. And I just love my gusset stitches. I also have this beautiful Progress Keeper on here by Katie of Lock and Lou. I think it matches all of this so beautifully. And I just really love how it's knitting up. You can see all of these variations of like this beautiful, again, it's almost like a burnt orange kind of a color, but it has some like bright red in it as well. A little flash of hot pink. There's some light mustard speckles in here. As you can see right there, I love just this little bit of pooling. It just did it for a split second, I feel like, just around the gusset, since my stitch count changed slightly, which I really love. We also have these really beautiful navy sections in there, navy, and has a little bit of navy, a little bit of lilac. Yeah, just really, really fun colors. A little bit of like this purple, of course. And I love that the purple cuff really draws that out. I'm so sorry for the lighting, you guys. It's been really weird weather here too lately. It's been just thunderstorms, tons of rain, just it was really warm yesterday. I wore a sweatshirt to work because I never look at the weather, because why would you do that? But I was so hot yesterday, and then today it's like 30 degrees. But anyways, it's all over the place. So I think that's probably why the lighting is just not cooperating with me lately. But anyways, I love this sock set so much. And my favorite little bits is when like a piece of mustard comes across my needle, or a piece of teal, like the really beautiful teal kind of color. There's a little bit of like a like cerulean blue as well. Just like so many colors in this, and that's probably why I love it. There's always something going on. So I did modify this pattern a little slightly because I just can't follow instructions. I don't know why I modified it. This is my first pair of socks. I should just knit it to the pattern. But I all of a sudden had all of these memories come back of just little pieces of advice I've gained from other knitting podcasters just by watching their podcast over the years. And I remember people saying, like, the con to knitting a fish lips kiss heel, from what I understand, is the fact that the gusset isn't deep enough and it doesn't really give you a lot of room to work with. So I was like, well, I think I'm going to just do the gusset an extra 2 stitches. So it shows you how to do like the heel flap and turn in the pattern, which was very satisfying, by the way. I loved it. And I knit it an extra two like sections. Trying not to give too much of the pattern away, but she also has a video that was really helpful as well. But yeah, so I just did an extra 2, like added 2 stitches, which added my gusset rows plus 2 stitches as well. So my gusset is a little bit larger, but I think I really like that. It doesn't look too noticeable, I feel like, from other people's socks that I've seen. But yeah, I only have, I think, 3 to 4 inches left of the foot, and then I will do the toe. And I've cast this on 5 days ago. I can't believe it. And I don't have a lot of knitting time each day. Probably like, I don't know, 10 to 15 minutes a day that I spend knitting, which kind of funny. I should spend more time, but I don't have time lately. So yeah, about 10 to 15 minutes. And except for on Saturday or Sunday, I think it was Sunday. I try to rest a lot on Sunday. And so I was able to knit a lot more than, like, I pretty much did a lot of the leg over the weekend, and then the gusset I barely started. And I ripped out the gusset 4 times because I kept misunderstanding the pattern, and I finished my gusset and it was like to here, and I was like, that's not right. So I decreased 50% too fast. Anyways, I love this sock, and I think it's just so fun. I'm already dreaming about what I want to knit my next pair out of. I'm contemplating using Weasley's Wizard Wheezes. I'm tempted to make a sock set out of that because I want to always have a contrasting color for heels and cuffs, because I think that's just a really beautiful effect that kind of adds some more interest to the sock. So anyways, I guess that's enough sock chatter. I can show you the skein real fast. You can kind of see, if the lighting cooperates, some of the colors. It's showing up a lot more orangey, I feel like, on the camera. Maybe because there's a bit more orange in the background, but it's a lot more, like, I would say pink purple for sure. I would say that is more accurate descriptor. I actually have a full skein. I will go grab that. It might be easier to see than in the skein form. So I grabbed the skein, and it's featuring our new labels. They have come in, and oh, I'm so excited. I don't think I've talked to you guys a lot about, like, our rebranding that's been happening and all of our new labels and stuff, but these new labels are so perfect. They're everything I wanted our new labels to be, and I actually still have the rose with the ends attached. So this was what the head of my crochet team made for me, and she modified a pattern, made it specifically for my new logo, which I'm so grateful for, and this turned into this, which is super exciting. This is our brand new logo, and I love all of the instructions on the back. So, like, not instructions, but like stats, I guess. All the contents, so exactly how much of the different fibers are in each skein. It has a recommended needle size and hook size for like almost like what it would be if it was a big box store. So I sort of wanted to reach that demographic in a way of just having suggestions. Obviously, if you're knitting a shawl, completely wrong information, or if you're knitting a sweater or whatnot. Like, there's so many different variations to this, but I just think it's just a really cool idea to have like a starting point. So I really love that idea. It also has like just like my website, hashtags and stuff, and then the colorway name. And I love like the rose gold staples on each skein. I think it just adds such a nice touch, and the labels are just really sturdy. So all in all, very, very happy with them. However, I purchased, I think about 16,000 of them because we've just been dyeing so much yarn lately and I wanted to have a lot on hand. And I have over 16 different types of bases and products. So anyways, bought about 16,000 labels and they all came out just like they all came from the printer in just awful coloring. Like it looked like they did like a grayscale over everything. So nothing was vivid like color. So I basically just had to ship them all back, but we're trying to just talk with our customer service all the time to try to get new labels. So that's been a little stressful, but hopefully they will be arriving soon so that we can continue with production as scheduled. But in the meantime, things have sort of come to a bit of a halt because we can't label yarn and I don't have any more of my old labels because I don't want to use these anymore. It's funny, this was what I came up with like in one day, I think. I just designed it right when I started the company because I needed yarn labels and I needed a logo. And fun fact, I actually painted this one myself and I am not a painter. So it's pretty bad. But anyways, that was just what I needed to get started. And now I'm at a place with the business where I can take, I took about 2 weeks to design the label, to do all the graphic art design behind it, and just to really create it, find, research printers, all that fun stuff. So I'm really grateful for that opportunity. And I hope you guys love my new label and my new system as much as I do. And I brought this skein of Weasley's Wizard Wheezes to show you what colorway I'm thinking about casting on next. I have two colorways that would match, two tonals that would match this beautifully in my mind, and not in reality, but in my mind. And anyways, I might make a sock set. You never know. So I guess we'll see. It all just depends how much yarn I can dye and how fast I can do it, basically. And then that leaves more time for fun. Like fun little hobby projects like that. I'm gonna blow through the next 3 projects pretty quickly for the sake of time. I'm hoping this episode won't be too crazy long since I still have so much to share, but the next project that I've gotten the most work done on, and I started working on this right before the sock obsession started. So I have my Seasons cardigan. I'm pretty sure last time I hadn't bound off yet. I think I was talking about it. So I bound off the sweater. It's a cardigan. It looks huge. It's actually very oversized and I love that. But this is a 3-cord bind off. So I modified the pattern. I didn't do a tubular bind off like they suggested because I'm just not a fan of tubular cast-ons or bind offs. I like this better. I did it so tight. I was basically knitting on the end of my needles because it's a very oversized cardigan, but I really wanted the waist to kind of, like when buttoned, kind of be very form-fitting, if that makes sense. And it is. It fits me really perfectly. I just need a little bit more extra give, which I think will happen when I block it. But yeah, this is the wrong side. Let's show it normally. So I basically bound off the bottom and I sewed on the other button, I think. I don't know if I had that done last episode, but this is kind of what it looks like. Let's see. There we go. And look at all the sleeve I have done. I'm so excited. I only have, I think, 12 inches left on the sleeve, and then I'll do the other sleeve. If you are looking for a sweater pattern that goes relatively quickly for the world of sweater knitting, because like I said, I probably have 10 to 15 minutes a day and I cast this on in October. So, so if you have a reasonable amount of knitting time, then you could probably get this finished very quickly. It went super fast for me. It kept me motivated. Yeah, I love this pattern, and I think it works really well for variegated yarn or heavily speckled colorways, because I know that can also be difficult to find sweater patterns for me anyways that like really will showcase colorways well, because that's also why I love knitting, all of the color play that can take place. So anyway, 2 thumbs up for this pattern. I'm obsessed and you all should cast one on. It's out of my, oh, and I just got these 12-inch circulars. Another funny story. So I do a lot of my knitting late at night. So a lot of like my my knitting time, like if I need new needles, I normally buy them late at night. And my mind does not function very well at night. So you want to know something hilarious? I actually ended up buying 9-inch circulars for the sleeve when I was up here. I don't know what I was thinking, to be honest. That was really a funny moment because then the next day I'm like, oh yeah, 9-inch circulars work totally great. And then I received them, and it was funny. Devin actually opened them. He's like, no way can you knit with these. Like, I gotta see that. They're like this big and they are so hard. How do people knit on 9-inch circulars? I don't understand. I tried to do a few rows and it's just not enough. Like, it's just not enough to hold on to. But anyways, it's really cool because this is like half fisherman's rib. So it's not brioche, even though it looks like brioche. So if you're someone that is not a brioche fan, someone that has never learned brioche, then I think this would also be a good alternative. I'm looking at their worsted weight one. That's a pullover, not a cardigan. Thinking about knitting a deep affection sweater out of it. But then again, I feel like I would like to just experiment with something a bit differently. I also saw that little Tailoress, or the Tailoress? Oh, I forgot her name. Anyways, I follow her on Instagram and she's releasing a new sweater pattern, so I might check that one out. But if you have any like recommendations for like just vanilla sweater patterns that are like DK weight, please let me know because I would really appreciate that. I want to knit on one at some point. But anyways, this is my Seasons cardigan knit out of Stormy Shore on my Fragrant Rose base. The color is not showing up very accurately at all. Like I said, my apologies for the lighting. I hope you'll still enjoy this video even though it's hard to see. I would look at the pictures on the website. I am going to insert a picture here just so you can see the contrast because this looks really navy. It's not navy at all in real life. So reference the photo. It's always accurate on my photos, as true to life as possible. It is like a really rich, like royal blue that's very much it has some navy underneath, but it's like a neon navy color. It's really fun, and it's got a lot of different colors in it. It's almost like a rainbow. So anyways, like a dark blue rainbow. And yeah, it's based off of like the shoreline in Maine. So I love this cardigan. It's very long as well, which I always love a really long cardigan. Hopefully next episode I'll have the first sleeve finished. That's my goal. I really want to finish this sleeve and have the next one going. And then I might have this finished object pretty soon because I'm not casting on another sweater until this one's off the needles. And yeah, I think it'll be really, really fun. Obsessed with these buttons as well. Just a really, really pretty fashion statement. The next project I have is my Cozy Memories blanket. I am knitting this like modularly, it's not a word, in modular pieces, I guess. I don't know how to say that, but it is my like Cozy Memories blanket. I have gotten so many questions about this pattern because I've modified it so heavily it almost doesn't resemble the original at this point. And I will try to like explain what I'm doing once I hit my border for this. So yeah, once I do like the brown border, I don't have my other squares with me, but a video is coming. So thank you so much for your patience and waiting for this video. I am sorry that it is not happening yet. I'm gonna wait till I finish this square before I do that tutorial on how to do a log cabin border. But basically each of these squares I cast on a total of 46 stitches. Yeah, 46 stitches, and the decrease section is the same on the pattern. So I basically am just knitting all these squares, a 4x4 inch square times 12 of those squares with a log cabin border that I will seam up together. But look at this earth tone square. I am so in love with it. I can't believe it's coming along so beautifully. It's filled with all of these beautiful colors. And again, a sweet little fox progress keeper by Lock and Lou. It's just so adorable. And I just love all of these colors and how they play together so beautifully. The square that's going to be right here, after I do this next one. And then right here, I'm going to add in my Deep Affection colorway from the socks that I'm knitting, which I think will be a fun memory to kind of add in. And I have all the colors picked out. This is my Untraveled Road Minis collection with a few extra thrown in, I think. Actually, no, it's just gonna be this and then my Deep Affection colorway. It's all gonna feature my Untraveled Road mini set. So a really beautiful collection of colors that are all 10 gram minis for those of you that love like browns with, I would say, like elevated neutrals, because I threw in a lot of different colors, but they're all very muted or subdued in some way that really complement like earthy, crunchy colors. And I've been winding them all up into 10 gram balls, which has been giving me bringing me so much joy lately, even though it's like so time consuming and I could just pull out my ball winder and get it done in like a minute. It only takes about like 5 minutes for me to wind one of these. And it's just so cute to just like, I don't know. It makes me feel very old-fashioned. Old-fashioned to be knitting from a ball of yarn. I don't know. It's fun. So I have been doing that sometimes at night. I'll show you my pink one. I have no idea where I was last episode. I should have kept track. Maybe this time I will. I might just move my progress keeper up to my last square. But this is my pink one. I think I've done a total of like 3 squares since last time. It's been really, really fun to work on this as well. I striped this one, which was really fun, and I striped this one. This is the back side, this is the front side. So it's really funny because even in knitting, I have to blend colors. I always have to be blending. So I found 2 colors that I really loved, but I wanted to kind of combine them, so I just alternated them. And if you alternate on the wrong side row, it makes it look very cohesive and you can't hardly even tell that you've alternated. If they're fairly similar, I blended like 2 shades of pink. One just was slightly more gray toned than the other one, so it worked really well. I can't wait to add in these like bright pops of pink, because this one I want to be like my neon pink square. So anyways, each of these squares are coming along nicely. When Devin and I are like doing our Bible time at night, I will sometimes knit on one and I get about half a square done in the evening. So yeah, it works out really, really well. The next project and the last work in progress that I have to share with you guys is my traveler's blanket. My traveler's blanket is barely still housed in my basket. I'm about ready to have to pull out a big project bag that I have, but I was knitting on this project so much over the weekend, not this last weekend, but the weekend before, and then I put it on pause because I had to wind yarn for it, and you know I'll do anything to not wind yarn. Even roll it up into little balls, right? I am going to be adding this color in next, which is a color that I cannot wait to start knitting with. It is like the color of my heart. It is so fun, especially since it feels so much like spring to me in a way, but it's still really cozy, and I really think it's a cozy colorway. So this color is one that was in my 2022 Christmas advent calendar. So I am basically knitting this blanket in all of my colorways from my advent calendar that I put together last year, with the exception of this colorway that was just a one-of-a-kind that I dyed to kind of match these colors. However, if you're doing something similar with last year's advent and you would like some guidance on what tonal to pair with it, I would really recommend my Golden Hour colorway with the advent. There's something about this rich gold tone that just matches all the colors so well. So you're not going to be able to see it just yet, but I think you'll be able to hopefully like see it later on. But I'm in the middle of a row, unfortunately, but here's the blanket. It's quite chunky and big and just going to be so cozy. And this is what I have so far on it. So this traveler's blanket, I am using size, I think I got questions last time. I am using a size 10 knitting needle, and I'm holding 3 strands of fingering weight together. So for instance, I saved 3 advents for myself. Yes, it's quite a lot of advents, but I saved 3, and I am using 1 strand of each because I just had this vision of getting a huge chunky blanket. I think that would just be so fun and cozy. So it looks very different from my other traveler's blanket. It's going to be a fade since I decided to fade last year's advent, and it features day 25 as well as the misfit. And I'm basically just I'm not going to give away too much of the pattern, but if you would like to knit something similar, I knit the same amount of garter ridges that it's called for in the pattern. And then for my contrasting color, I basically skipped the slip stitch section row. I basically flipped the row count. So like instead of doing row 1 first, I did it for like on the 4th row basically. So I knit 1 garter ridge in day 25, and then the next 2 garter ridges would be my contrasting color, and then those 2 garter ridges, then I would do my slip stitch section and then pick up day 25. So it's like day 25, 2 of the misfit, and then 1 more day 25 using the slip stitch pattern. So I hope that kind of makes sense. That's sort of like how I decided to modify it, because eventually the colors are going to get into really deep blues and purples, whereas like this is really going to start standing out because this almost matches these colors. So you can't really get a stark contrast yet, but I'm thinking you'll probably get to see it with this one. So anyways, I'm excited. I can't wait to keep working on this. It's going to be quite large, but it's really cool to think for me like that I'm 1/6 of the way done. Like that's just crazy because I haven't knit on it a ton. I am also not going to be doing a border on this blanket. I decided to just do a I-cord edge, of course, and then an I-cord border. I think that's a beautiful way to finish off the blanket if you don't want to do a border for it. But just a lot of fun colors, and then this one will go right here. I think that'll be really pretty. So continuing to knit on that, I think it's going to be a really fun project, and I'm excited to start utilizing all of the different Advent colors. I also have some exciting news where my Advent is concerned, because Advents are currently in the shop for 2023. I cannot wait to talk with you more about my Advent calendar this year because it's just going to be so special. I'm just really excited to start dyeing it. So basically how it works, they launched a few weeks ago, and you will receive 24 20-gram minis that will be individually packaged in green and red velvet bags that are all hand stamped with the day that they're designed to be open on. So it's just a complete carefree planning process for you guys, and they will all be one of a kinds. So I'll place my palette on the side of the screen so you can see it. So these are all the colors I'm going to be drawing the base coat for. So I always let myself have creative liberty when adding speckling layers. However, these are the base coats. This is like the primary colors, basically what I'll be using for the Advent. It will not be a fade this year like my previous year's Advent, because I want to do something different. I think it'll be really fun to mix and match these colors. However, my Advents are always cohesive. So if you want to knit with day 1 and just have complete peace about knitting all the way through, I want that to be the case with this design, because I think it's really important. That way you can still have the surprise element as well as like the peace of knowing that it'll be cohesive, even though it won't be a fade. So I'm really excited to play with those colors, create new ones. I will start dyeing on that the first week of August per usual. And I think it's going to be really fun. I have way more in stock than I did last year, which is hard to believe. I mean, I guess I wouldn't say way more. I have a bit more than last year, and I will have those available until they sell out. Last year they didn't sell out until the end of October. So this year I can't guarantee that they'll be in stock that long, but I hope that you will snag one if you're interested. I also did a special discount for those of you that have purchased previous year's Advents. So to access that discount, be sure to check the inbox that is associated with your account. And all you have to do is make sure you're logged into the account that you've purchased a previous year's Advent in, and it will automatically be applied at checkout. That offer ends April 8th, so if you're seeing this on the weekend, you'll be good to go, but after that, it will be expired. So that's basically the colorways and a little bit of info about that. Just check out the listing for all of this written out if you're more of a visual learner or like to understand more and to decipher my rambling. But that's basically the colors. It's always going to be dyed on my soft rose base. It's my most popular base by far. Extremely squishy, very versatile. Pretty much all the projects I've shared with you have been knit on my soft rose base because it's a 4-ply 8515 superwash merino, really amazing base. So that will be the same as it always is. And I am going to be including a candle this year like I did last year. It is designed by Wax and Wool. They are an incredible company and I just love supporting them and their brand because they produce such a high quality product that is just such a staple around here for me. And I hope it is for you guys as well. It's really a lovely scent. I'm working with her currently to create a scent that's very different from last year's Advent. I'm going more for wintry feels as opposed to a really holiday Christmas scent. So I think that will be really, really fun. And I'm like mixing some scents right now and I'm so obsessed. I can't wait to share that with you. And another really, really fun thing that will be coming in this year's Advent is going to be a hand balm by none other than Tuft Woolens. I love her hand balms so much. They are lanolin enriched. They're basically great for just rubbing like on the back of your hand when it's like winter and everything's very dry. It soaks in really quick so you can just start knitting right away. And I feel like this is huge in the knitting industry and she's such a really a maker that just inspires me and I've followed her for years, so it's just a really cool addition to the Advent that she's going to be supplying a custom hand balm for me with the Advent calendar, something new that I've never done before. And yeah, I'm really excited. I think that this scent is going to be very, very cool. I'm also working with her to create a custom scent. They're going to be very different from each other. So like my candle is going to smell nothing like the hand balm. I did that by design because I really want to have two completely different scents that hopefully evoke different emotions and just different feels. I think it'll be really, really fun. So that's what's coming in the Advent calendar. And I'm already contemplating what my next winter season will look like. And I have a fun box planned that's going to be really exciting with some pretty cool products. So anyways, just a lot of Christmassy winter thoughts already, even though it's just spring and the last winter barely ended, but that's how the industry functions, right? I think I'm gonna use this right now because it's so good. It's the Chai Spice scent and I love it so much. It's very, very homey scent. Okay, so that's all the projects. Let me check my list and see what else I was going to chat with you all about. Oh, I have a really exciting announcement. I'm going to be launching a brand new collection this summer, and it's going to be inspired by our honeymoon. So for those of you that are new, I got married New Year's Eve, and we went on honeymoon in the Canary Islands, a little bit of Spain, a little bit of Portugal. It was a cruise. It was really delightful, super, super fun, and a really just unforgettable trip for sure. And I packed a few skeins of undyed yarn in my bag, and everywhere we went, we collected footage for this collection. So basically, there's going to be reels coming out, YouTube shorts for everyone on here, brand new colorways. It is going to be the biggest collection I've ever dyed. And to be honest, I'm a little bit like overwhelmed at times, but you know what? That's good. I feel like that motivates me to try my hardest and to really just try my best to make it just a showstopper collection. I already have a total of 15 to 16 brand new tonals that are inspired by all of the different places and themes of like the Canary Islands. It is going to be the Yarn-ary Islands collection, of course, because I couldn't miss the pun. It was actually Devin's idea and I think it's brilliant. So that is going to be the name. So Yarn-ary Islands collection is going to be coming probably around May or June. The whole setup of the collection is going to be quite different from other collections in the past. I feel like I'm in an era of experimentation lately and I'm embracing it. I think it'll be really fun because there's so many new things to do and so many new options to try out. So these tonals, I've never dyed up so many tonals at once before, but I was just in like such a creative flow. I found all of these new colors and they just all sort of came together as a whole, which whenever that happens, I know it's going to be a good collection when it just flows together really well. So 15 to 16 tonals. There will not be that many speckled colorways because I think that really would put me over the edge. That'd be way too much to do, but I have all those tonals and then I'm going to be dyeing up 10 speckled colorways to kind of mix and match. So it's going to be very different. Normally I did like 1 speckled to 1 tonal ratio, but this time it's going to be much more creative. So I'm hoping that sort of loose structure will enable you all a lot more creative freedom with coming up with your own ideas of mixing and matching colors. And to incorporate that as well, I want to include a lot of swatches. Emily, my like test knitter and sample knitter and tech editor, kind of everyone all in one. She's incredible. She's gonna be knitting a lot of the swatches for this collection. And I've already been discussing all of my crazy ideas that I have, and she's been sweet enough to kind of put those into execution and just experiment before I give her the yarn, which is just gonna be really, really fun because I want to have swatches that showcase color combos, which is something I haven't done in the past. So I'm also having custom progress keepers made by two incredible ladies that I love their work so much, but more on that to come later on. So anyways, just a little bit of a teaser there. I'll throw up a picture that I posted on Instagram a few days ago that you all loved and have been like messaging me about with questions and stuff, which has been super fun. So that is going to be coming soon. And another fun thing I have planned, I have my first trunk show in the books. It's going to be in Indianapolis, which is just about an hour away from where I live. Devin and I are gonna just be filling the car with all the yarn and driving up there for Saturday. It's going to be May 20th. And all the information for that yarn store, where it can be located, what time will be linked down below for those of you that are interested and live around the Indianapolis area. If you're around that area, please come by and say hi. It'd be so fun to meet you in person and get to, show you some yarn. I also have the weekend before that, another open house. So I did my very first open house, I think about a month ago, and it went so well. I got to meet some local knitters in the knitting community here, which was really exciting, and just get to help them plan some new projects. This next open house, it's kind of funny how it all started. I actually just posted about the open house. The knitting community like approached me because there's not a yarn store in my town, and I'm not open for retail, but I will, let people come in and just like plan a project almost like by appointment. Which is really fun, and I enjoy that like setup. But I just posted about the open house on Instagram, and so many of you were saying how you would love to drive down and meet me and see the store, and asked if I was doing another open house sometime. So I looked at my schedule and decided to do one around this time. So it will be May 13th, and it will be open from 10 to 4. All of my information, again, will be down below, so you can look at it and see how far away it is from you if you're close to Indiana. But it's gonna be super cool. I even did a poll on Instagram to see how many of you are coming or were thinking about it. And the response was, was a little overwhelming. I am so grateful, and I can't believe that many of you would want to make a road trip out of it to come and say hi, and just to get to see my shop in person and get to meet me is just really, really sweet. And just getting to, read your messages and see that a lot of you have been following me for a while and wanted to come say hi. So I just think it's gonna be a really lovely time. I even got, one of you asked if you can purchase these like tonals that I'm sharing for the Yarn-ary Islands collection, if you can purchase them at the open house. And the answer is you can. You will be able to get first dibs on a lot of these colors before they go on the site. They won't be available in a lot of the bases, but like my staple bases, it will be available on. So that's a fun thing that only open house people will be able to grab. And I also have a custom candle that I am only going to be selling through the open house. I am so excited about that. It was last year's Advent candle by Wax and Wool, and it was so highly requested to be brought back that I decided it would be a fun thing to kind of have that be a specialty edition. Only people that are going to be coming in person will be able to purchase that. And I think that will be really cool. So stay tuned for more info on that, and check it out down below if you're interested in hearing more info. So another really fun, exciting life update, since we've sort of transitioned from shop news to now just like a really fun thing that's happening that's brand new, that's literally brand new. We just decided this last night, actually, after just praying about it and thinking about it for a really long time. We've made the decision to have Devin join the Ruby&Roses yarn team full time. He is just so incredible with marketing and SEO, all of that side of the business. And he was working for another company, but after just reviewing everything further, we just decided that that would be a good move for us and for the company. And I'm thrilled because I just am not going to be able to do the marketing as well as he could. I don't know like code. I'm not a coder, and I don't like know a lot of like just a lot of that stuff just because I didn't go to school for it, and I don't enjoy it, to be honest. And he loves it, and he's already been doing like all the metadata for YouTube, newsletters. He runs some of my campaigns, so it's really cool to see that that will be more like a permanent like job, and it's really sweet. He's always said that it would be his dream to work with me and to work for Ruby&Roses Yarn, and I think that's super cool. And we even talked about it like early on when we were dating, because that was sort of how we got to know each other in the first place, was the company. So anyways, it's just really, really fun to see how this story just keeps on rolling, and so many new changes, and I'm really loving to see how everything is just changing, and I think it's really fun. Just a lot of new exciting possibilities. And with him working with me like during the day and just getting to have those 40 hours of work, which I can't even fathom what that would be like because currently I work like 40 to 50 hours a week, and then he will like work his day job, and then on the weekends, besides Sunday's our day to just kind of relax and rest. But on Saturdays, we'll normally do a lot of work together, and he'll help me with work. And so it's been a little bit of a struggle because we don't have some of our evenings together, or we don't have like Saturday, just a day to kind of like hang out. And so this will just kind of make that a lot easier for us, I think. And it's just going to be incredible because I've been so grateful for the fact that just thinking like in a week we'll be able to have our evenings and we'll be able to have our weekends off of work, and I'll go back, I was never really there, but I'll be able to work a 40-hour week, and we'll just be able to kind of just like do that together, and to be able to, I think it'll be just really cool to work side by side with the love of my life for the foreseeable future. So hopefully forever. But we'll see what God has in store for us, I guess. So I'm very, very excited. And I just think that with Devin working full-time and this being all of the yarn being our sole source of income is going to be such a beautiful thing. And because lately I feel like it's just been growing so quickly, which is amazing, but I also have so many different avenues that I am trying to explore, so many different opportunities that are presenting itself. And I was almost getting to the point where it was very difficult for me to do everything on my own because I need help. And just because of the wholesale on one end, retail on the other, and all of the social media and just a lot of just different other things, I think it's just going to be really healthy for us in general too. And I am just excited to see what Devin will do with all of it, because like all of the SEO and marketing and all the metadata and all the stuff that comes along, putting yourself out there with a business in this day and age is just a lot of work. But it's really cool to just see all of that come together, and I'm just really excited for what the future holds. I keep pinching myself, like, is this really happening? And a lot of that is due to you guys and for your support for my product and the videos that I put out and all that I've done for the past few years since I've appeared on the knitting scene, I guess. And I want to thank you. I know we would like to thank you from the bottom of our heart for just supporting us and continuing to show up and purchase our product and purchase all of the colorways that we create. It just means the world to us. So thank you so much for that. So that was the exciting life news. It's going to be a huge change, but I am thrilled, like I've said a million times. So I also am really excited for Easter this weekend. You'll be seeing this on Saturday. Easter Sunday will be the day after that, and I love Easter. It's such an incredible holiday, and we are going to be we actually are going to be serving at our church, doing a Easter egg hunt with some of the like little kids and stuff, which I'm not a kid person at all. I don't really like little kids, but I think it'll be cool. And we're going to be manning the bouncy houses, or I think it's what they're called, the little like things they play in. I don't know. maintain them. So who knows what that will entail. I'll have to let you know if I survive, but I think it'll be a really cool serving opportunity, and we're excited for it. And Easter Sunday services are always amazing. I've also, this morning I just got back from my mentor, and she is she's an older woman that I meet with every Thursday morning, and it's such an amazing time. She just helps speak wisdom into my life and just helps me grow in my appreciation of the gospel, and it's just a really special time with her. And after this podcast, I'm actually going to be heading into the dye studio and creating several new colorways, which have been a bit more challenging than I anticipated, because I just want to get them just right, and I have a specific idea in my mind, but I've created probably like 15 misfits at this point on this one color because I can't get it right, but I'm determined to get there. So I am going to hopefully create 2 to 3 new colorways for the rest of the day, depending on how much time I have. But I will post a little picture up here, I think, of the colorway that I'm creating, and then my inspiration photo on the bottom. I think it'll be fun to kind of show you guys a little behind the scenes of what I'm creating as far as that goes. And yeah, it's gonna be a really fun weekend. We're also seeing Devin's family. They live about a 2.5 hour drive from here. So just a lot of fun stuff coming, very, very busy time. But I also have been enjoying the like quiet moments where I'm just cozied up with a cup of tea or my cup of coffee in the morning, just knitting away on whatever project I have, and just kind of soaking in the quiet moments of the morning have been nice. Or just like before bed, just doing nothing and resting and watching a show, or it's fun. I actually like to watch Devin cook because it's just fun, because I'll normally be knitting. It's probably why I like it, and he'll be cooking, and it's just a really fun, special time filled with like laughter and so much talking. So yeah, just a lot of fun things. And another thing I'm really excited for, I'm almost willing to stay up till midnight for it tonight, is the fact that NF is launching a new album like tonight at midnight, I think. And I am really excited. I'm not gonna stay up till midnight, so don't worry. But I don't know, it would be cool. I just love his music, and I cannot wait for this album. I have been like counting it down along with all the other fans for like 2 weeks since he like did the countdown on Spotify. But anyways, if you're an NF fan, let me know in the comments, because I would love to hear your favorite song, or hear like what song you're most excited for this new album. I'll have to let you know what I think. It's actually funny, I got a message from someone the other day thinking I should do an NF album at some NF collection at some point. I think that would be so cool. I might do that like a few years down the road. And something along those lines. I've actually always wanted to dye one of his hoodies that he sells with like the NF logo. I've always thought it'd be really cool to like ice dye it in a certain way with like fabric dyes. But anyways, I don't know. We'll see. I'm just rambling on and on now. I guess I should wrap this up because we're already at an hour. Crazy. I hope you have enjoyed this episode, getting to see all of my works in progress and hear me ramble about each one. It's been so much fun chatting with you guys. I really, really love this YouTube community and getting to come here and chat with you all on a regular basis. I will be launching bi-weekly videos, and I can't wait to show you all the videos I have up my sleeve, and I really hope that you love them. So until next time, I hope you have so much fun with your knitting. And a fun thing I want to do just to kind of get to know you all a little better is let me know in the comments what your favorite part of spring is, because it's getting warmer. What is your favorite spring activity, whether it relates to knitting or not? And what is your favorite project that you're working on lately? I would love to know, and it might inspire me to cast on something new. You never know. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely day, and I will see you in 2 weeks. Bye.